All right, let's talk about two absolute giants of technical analysis, MACD and Ichimoku. One is sleek and simple, the other, well, it's a whole complex system. You'd think they're from completely different worlds, right? Well, what if I told you that deep down, at their very core, they're actually telling the exact same story? Stick around because we're about to uncover a connection that is genuinely surprising.
So, in one corner, you've got MACD. You can think of it like a stripped-down race car, built for one purpose, measuring momentum. It's fast, it's focused, it gets the job done. And in the other corner, you have Ichimoku, which is, more like a full-on airplane cockpit with all its lines, clouds, and displays. It can look a little intimidating at first glance, but, as we're about to see, under the hood of both of these, they're running on a very, very similar engine.
And that is the big question, isn't it? Hiding behind all of those different lines and calculations, is there a common truth? Let's crack this code and see just how deep this connection really goes. Okay, so to really understand this, we've got to start with the basics. Let's do a quick pop of the hood on both MACD and Ichimoku to see what makes them tick. MACD is actually pretty straightforward. You can break it down into three parts. First, you've got the MACD line itself, which basically measures the space between a fast-reacting price average and a slower one. Then there's the signal line, which is just a smoothed-out version of that MACD line. And finally, the histogram, which gives us a visual of the distance between those two lines. That's it. It's all about tracking the relationship between fast and slow. Now let's jump over to Ichimoku. Yeah, I know, it looks complicated, but for our purposes today, we're just going to focus on its heart. Two key lines. We've got the Tenkan-sen, that's our fast line, and it's super sensitive to recent price moves. And then we have the Kijun-sen, the slow line, which gives us a more stable, longer-term view of price. Just remember those two ideas, fast and slow. That's the key. All right, we've laid the groundwork. Now for the main event. This is the part where the puzzle pieces start to click into place and that hidden connection reveals itself. You ready for the aha moment? Remember the Tenkan-sen, Ichimoku's fast line? What it's actually doing is looking at the price range over the last 9 periods, the highest high and the lowest low, and then finding the exact midpoint. This calculation keeps it glued really close to the current price action, making it incredibly responsive. And here's its counterpart, the Kijun-sen, our slow line. It uses the exact same logic, finding the midpoint of the price range, but it does it over a much longer time frame, typically 26 periods. This means it doesn't get thrown off by short-term noise. It's like a stable anchor compared to the nimble, fast-moving Tenkan-sen. And here it is. This is the moment where it all makes sense. Remember how the MACD line measures the distance between a fast average and a slow average? Well, the distance between the fast Tenkan-sen and the slow Kijun-sen in Ichimoku, it's doing the exact same job. They are two different paths leading to the exact same destination, gauging the relationship between short-term and long-term momentum. So let that sink in for a second. Despite the Japanese names and the different calculations, at their core, they are both obsessed with one thing, momentum. They're both trying to answer this same fundamental question. Is the trend speeding up, or is it running out of gas? Now, that's a really cool theoretical link, but what does it actually mean for trading? I mean, if they're measuring the same thing, shouldn't they give us similar signals? Let's see if this theory holds up in practice. One of the most classic signals in any trading textbook is the crossover. The idea is simple. When a fast, responsive line crosses over a slower, more stable line, it often signals a shift in power. It's like an early warning that momentum might be about to change direction. And here you go. The similarity is just stunning. With MACD, traders are on the lookout for when the MACD line crosses its own signal line. With Ichimoku, it's the exact same play, just with different names. Traders watch for the TK crossover, which is when the fast Tenkan-sen crosses the slow Kijun-sen. It's the same move, the same story, just told in two different languages. Okay, so we've uncovered this link. Now what? Why does this even matter? Let's wrap this all up and see how you can actually use this knowledge to become a sharper analyst. So let's review the key takeaways. First, the logic behind MACD and the relationship between the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen are essentially twins. Second, they're both, at the end of the day, tools for measuring momentum. Third, MACD crossover and a TK crossover are telling the same story. And here's the practical bit. You can now use one to confirm a signal from the other. Or if you like to keep your charts clean, you can confidently pick one, knowing that you're getting the same core information from both. And this all leads to a really important mindset shift. The goal isn't to clutter your chart with dozens of indicators. The goal is to deeply, truly understand the tools you already use. That deeper understanding, as we've seen today, is what gives you a real edge.
So I'll leave you with this question. If MACD and Ichimoku have this deep connection, what other hidden parallels are out there just waiting to be discovered? What other tools in your toolbox might be telling the same story, just in a slightly different way? Take a closer look. Thanks for joining me.